So you feel like you have like seasonal depression or like what's going on?
I feel like I was forced into this conversation.
That's wonderful. Before you mind this, we were talking about basically how he thinks that his life is meaningless.
I never said that. I never said that. This is AI, guys. I just want to clarify. This is Sora AI right now. This is not a real conversation.
I I think you're pretty legitimate. Like you're I think like this yeah, that excuse doesn't work, bro.
This the AI watermark on the side.
All right, bro. Are you trying to play in my face right now?
What does that mean?
Like, are you playing with me?
Ew, that's nasty.
That is nasty. All right, bro. So how you been feeling recently?
I've been sick.
I don't think you understand it, bro. We just meant to talk about something. So let's hear you talk, bro. You love talking.
Okay, I actually don't like talking. I'm a pretty nonchalant guy, I will say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I will say, nice to meet all 59 of y'all. Every single person here matters quite a lot. Hmm. What do we want to talk about today? Up to you.
I was basically asking myself like, what is the meaning of life if like I haven't reached the level of success that I see other people achieving? And I guess what I try to tell myself is that, hey, like no matter what, everybody is on their different path to success, you know? So everything happens the time that's meant to. But I still feel like very discouraged whenever I see a lot of people that are younger or the same age, like doing so many great things. Like, what do you think?
Hmm. I think the meaning of life is something really subjective, yet at the same time, it is not. I think it truly just depends on what values you have in life. I think that believing in a higher power makes a huge difference in what you view as the like purpose or the meaning of life. I If you don't really believe in a higher power, then I feel like you're more at a loss on what the purpose of life could be. Is it to create memories and experiences? Is it to do as much good as you can before you die? Is it to just live with no expectations? The meaning of life could be a lot of different things. Yeah, I feel like with a higher power or like just rules put in place through the holy book, the meaning of life is a lot more straightforward. Like for me, right? I believe that the whole purpose of life, the whole purpose we've been put on this earth is to worship. So regardless of whether I get that job, whether I accomplish, whether I create or leave a long lasting legacy on this earth, none of that matters in the face of my worship to God. And that truly is what I view as the meaning of life or the purpose of life. And what I think a lot of people in the religious faith would believe as well.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I feel like in recent times, like I've been more on like coming to Jesus is like a slang that people like to say. But I think it's more so just like being more in doubt in my faith. And I feel like recently being closer to faith has helped me a lot in more tougher situations, just giving me faith that everything will be okay, no matter the bad circumstances or bad situation that I've been put in, that things will be okay because I do have faith. And that at the end of the day, as long as I strive to be a good man and lead my life by the laws of God, then I will be condemned in the way all my brothers and sisters will, and hopefully I will reach heaven. But I will say, like, if I wasn't thinking about like the religious aspect of like I guess life in general, the purpose that I've created for myself and what I've told myself is the life that I want to lead is basically I want to become the sole owner of my time. And the way I want to do that is by being a good man. And I guess good man now, what I mean by that is by leading in the image of God. And when I say being the sole owner of my time, it means being able to spend time to do the things that I love. When it comes to family, when it comes to just relationships in my life, I want to live my life so I can become the sole owner of my time, and I want to do it by being a generally good person. So I guess besides religiously, is there a way that you want to lead your life, or a mission or a goal that you're wanting to aspire to achieve?
You know, this is a question I've actually been asked quite a lot. Not verbally, always through essays. During college application season, it's always asked why this major or what change are you going to create once you enter this college. And I've had an essay I've written since around middle school that was kind of built for questions like this. It's called Playground Dreams to a New Reality. And in it, I talk about, I guess, my awakening of sort. Oh, yeah, my awakening of some sorts. Ever since the fourth grade, I've wanted to create a business. It's been like just something I've really wanted to do. And as to where that idea really came about from, I'm not sure. It might have been, I think I saw like a few articles or like online news sources about some teenagers that created like $1 million worth companies, and I was like, that's a pretty cool thing. I want to do that because that seems like a really cool thing I want to do. Like, it was really that simple, but behind that simplicity like laid, I feel like, a more concrete reasoning. To me, money is meant so little, yet it's had, I guess, a really big weight in my life. At the point I'm at right now, I make my own money. I don't really, I'm not financially dependent on anyone in my life. And it's a good place to be. But obviously, growing up as a kid, like, I was financially dependent, and I just saw the effect that money had on lives of those around me and those I cared about. And I feel like I just wanted to make enough money to have that not be an issue anymore. And that feeling hasn't changed till now. Like, a big a big motivator in a lot of things I do in life is the amount of ease I can bring towards my loved ones. And that to me is what pushes me. Like, for example, as of now I'm looking for initiatives. I'm grinding, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Simply because I don't want to become financially like dependent on my parents. I don't want to put an extra burden. Whether they can afford it or not isn't the issue. The issue is I just don't want to put any burden on them that may cause strain. Like, we're in college, tuition isn't cheap, nothing here is cheap. So I'm just trying to do my part in things. And as we look in life, the biggest factor in what's pushed me to achieve greatness is to help my family out, and not just my family here, like my extended family, to help them create better versions of their lives in ways they can't do, or in ways they can't accomplish because of situations, or just the way life is played out for them. I've put that burden onto myself of trying to create that ideal, or like at least give them that chance to change their lives about. So for me, like, the type of man I want to be is a man that can free my family from any shackles holding them back. I feel like that's the type of man, or that's my motivator, I would say.
I can see you piecing together the puzzle pieces. For me, I've thought about this so much and so distinctively that that's why I have like my answer so condensed. But for all the same reasons, like one thing that I think is like instilled in a lot of immigrants is just the whole thing of like you need to become successful, you need to make money, you need to be better than I am. And I feel like it puts a big burden onto all of us immigrants or just people like that have less fortune, that big like pressure to be good and be great. I feel like personally it's always been something that's always put me down on the ground, and I've always felt like damn, like how am I going to be able to live up to their expectations? I'm only one person, but I try to take on that burden because I don't want to see them suffer anymore. So hearing the way that you speak, it reminds me a lot of the internal thoughts that I have, because when I think about my family, I think about all the stress and the trauma that they've been through just to be here, and then also just to keep me alive. It's crazy. And that's why I say that I want my purpose to be the sole owner of my time, because I want to relieve them of their responsibilities. I want to be able to make them financially independent themselves from everything. And that's a mission, a goal that I want to achieve with them. So I think that's also why I put a big emphasis on being a good person, as well as not only do I want to be a good person in myself, but I want to spread the good that I have in my life. And this is all like hypothetically. At this point, like you said, I don't have much. Fortunately, I've been able to be, I guess, financially independent, but I mean, independent, but I'm dependent on so many different things, so many different factors that am not truly independent. I guess, like, my question to you is that how has the pressure made you feel, and how has it been living with that pressure?
I mean, I guess something I would say is, and I've thought about this quite a lot. I just don't typically verbalize the thoughts within my head, I would say. In terms of pressure, I think growing up, I had a lot of pressure on me, you know? Um, and interestingly enough, I didn't really view it as pressure. I just viewed it as like people having certain expectations of me. And, obviously every immigrant parent always wants you to do better than them. They always want you to achieve this and that. I mean, growing up, I used to want to be a zoologist, and like told me they didn't make enough money. So now I'm not a zoologist, So like I will say definitely my parents have had a really big impact on the field I found myself within, but I still feel like I chose a field that still encompassed at the very least something I wanted to do or accomplish. But pressure didn't just come from family for me. It came from school. Growing up, all my teachers would, albeit for better or worse, they would call me a genius. They would call me like smart. They would call me all these really positive things. I feel like all children should be called, but it definitely made me have a idea of myself in my mind, which I think definitely helped me actually for the most part. It granted me the confidence that I would need to accomplish a lot of the things I've accomplished. Like look at me here now. Like I don't really ever think of the accolades of what I have in life, but I've done a lot. And I don't think I could have accomplished what I've done, like what I've accomplished, if it wasn't for the kind of like, I guess, in a sense, delusion in my head of me being such a great person. Like what I'm really trying to say is I believe that I've been able to accomplish all of this because I've had the delusion in my mind that I am the type of person that could accomplish this in the first place. If I never thought this highly of myself, I don't believe I would have ever achieved as much as I ever did. So, in terms of pressure, this pressure has been a lot, but I never viewed it as pressure growing up. Now I do. But even then, I think it's gotten to a point where it doesn't even feel like pressure from outside sources. I've internalized it so much that now it's pressure I put on myself. Now, if I don't accomplish something, I feel less because everything I have now, I don't think I've accomplished anything great. Even though I know objectively I have, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything great. I just feel like I've accomplished what I should. And I feel like that does take a toll on me. Like it definitely like it doesn't allow me to rest in any way, shape, or form because I just feel like, okay, I accomplished this. I knew I could accomplish this. So what's the point of giving myself a pat on the back or telling myself you did such a great job when I simply did what I knew I could and I should. You know, like, well, I feel like that then sets me in a perpetual cycle of like just never feeling like I'm enough because everything I've accomplished in life is has always been something I knew in hindsight I could accomplish. Like I've never surprised myself in an accomplishment because like, I just don't see how I could. I just don't see any accomplish. Okay, the way I view things in life, just to help y'all understand this is I view every challenge in life as like as something I can do, as something I can accomplish. The only reason I haven't yet is because I either haven't put in enough work yet, I don't have the knowledge yet, or I'm just being lazy. Like there's only three reasons in life as to why I haven't accomplished what I wanted to do yet. Like me, like the only thing in my way between me right now and me becoming a millionaire is hard work. Like that's my mindset. So even at the point where I become a millionaire and I get that amount of money, I'm not gonna feel accomplished because I always knew I could make that amount of money, if that makes sense to you. So honestly, that pressure has shaped who I am today, and it doesn't even feel like pressure anymore. It just is who I am.
That was a lot. See, now you having intimate conversations about yourself on camera, bro. But one thing that I will say is that a topic that you alluded to within your talk about pressure that I want to hear a little bit more about is your kind of emotions when it comes to being like emotionless. I feel like what I spoke about in my last video as well, I literally talked about how I feel like I feel very emotionless in the sense of I feel like I feel less of certain emotions. And specifically I talk about anger. I talk about how I haven't felt anger in such a long time. I just kind of take shit on the chin and just continue to move forward, continue to move past. Because to me it's just like it's nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I'm just like, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. And even sadness or happiness, I feel like in myself I can't feel it because there are so many other things that I'm worried about. So it's like, why do I need to be happy? Why do I need to be sad? Like you said, like at that point, like I do agree in the point of like you said that you haven't accomplished certain things just because you haven't put in enough effort. I feel like I'm in the same boat. I feel like I'm capable of doing so many big and great things, and I've been told my entire life that I am capable and I am better than most people. So I guess the question that I really want to know for myself and what I want to know for you is that do you think we could ever truly be happy, or do you think we will always feel emotionless? Because as it stands right now, no matter all the beautiful and wonderful things that I experience in life, I feel like it's always like behind a shield. I always feel like even though I do amazing things and I have amazing connections with people, I always feel like for some reason I have some type of shield blocking it. And I feel like it's as if I was getting shot by a dragon with a fireball or something. And the fireball is hitting my shield, but the fire on the side is grazing me. That's how I feel about the emotions. I don't feel the brute force of it. I only feel the sides of it. And I want to know, am I truly always going to feel that way? And then how do I break out of it? Maybe that's something that I need to talk about with myself or with somebody else to truly internalize or understand. But I want to know what you think about that as well.
Mm. In terms of emotions, I think I feel a lot of emotions actually, or maybe I don't. I've been told both from I don't know, a lot of people. I would say when it comes to me accomplishing something, typically I feel negative more than I feel positive. I always feel as if any accomplishment I have in life I don't deserve. I never feel as if the amount of effort I put into something is conducive or is an equal reflection of the outcome. You know, like I never felt like the amount of work I put into studying for the SAT was equal to the score I got on it, or the amount of effort I put into studying for exams was equal to the scores I got on them. So I've always asked myself, like, why me? Like, why was I given this accomplishment when I know for a fact there was someone out there that worked harder than me and didn't get this? You know, so like I've never really felt positive about like my accomplishments in life. I would say I've always just felt negative. And if we want to look at things and I guess just think about like the emotionless aspect of just going through life, through emotions, through accomplishments, simply because we take it for granted and we know that at the end of the day I was going to achieve this, whether I was gonna achieve this at some point. Now that I did, it means nothing. I feel like I'm getting past that in a sense because I'm starting to feel more and more negative as life goes on, and it sounds contradictory, but here's the thing. Like, see, I'll explain it. Lately in life, I've been feeling worthless. I've accomplished a lot. You know, I had a great internship last summer at a really big company, but now at the point where I find myself in life, I don't feel good enough. And it's not the good enough where it's like I don't think my efforts was conducive to me having this like accomplishment or this like just whatever the hell I have. It's like I just don't even think the person I am right now can accomplish anything good. And I feel like it's a mental thing. Like for so long I've had the mentality that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. And now I'm starting to feel like I can't. And I feel like it is because of me going through this down that the next big accomplishment I achieve, I will probably feel some sort of happiness from it. Not because I accomplished this, but because I was able to get past that feeling of I can't do anything. I'm not enough. I like no matter how much energy I put into this, it's gonna go to naught. So to me, I feel like I truly do hope that whatever I do next, I can feel happiness from it because that would have meant that I'm past this rut I currently am in. But if not, then I truly don't know. Like I feel like that is what I'm hoping might be the answer to your question and mine as well.
Yeah, I really do truly think it's a mindset thing, and it's just my own personal challenge and your own personal challenge that we must conquer ourselves. And I feel like people can help us have realizations, but it's more of an internal battle that you must conquer. But I appreciate the talks. That's about it, though.